Let's start with the prayers. Vasudeva sutam devam kamsa chanuramardhanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagatgurum. Bhagavad Gita's Chapter 16, Deva Asura Sampat Vibhaga Yogaha. This is the title of the chapter. Bhagavad Gita is said to be a manual for life. And this chapter clearly points out this particular aspect of the Bhagavad Gita. Why is it considered a manual? Here, the Lord explains to the seekers the problems we face because of our mind and how to correct ourselves and live a good life. So this is a direct manual of how to develop and nourish the good qualities in us, in the mind, and how to avoid the bad qualities. The mind is an instrument given to all of us. Every human being is born with a mind and a body. It is not our choice, it is just come to us because of the earlier tendencies in us. You may be wondering, what about the tendency? Because we are talking about this body, and this body was born on a particular date. According to the Shastra, this body is born, but the mind is not born on that date. The mind of a jiva exists with him along with the karana shariram till moksha. So this body, as soon as it's ready, the jiva from different lokas, they enter this body. So when a jiva enters means it is the mind. It's primarily the mind and the karana shariram which together form the jiva that enters the human body. And that invariably has a deficiency because the mind is a subtle body made up of the 5 elements, exactly like the gross body. So in its operation, you will find that there are some deficiencies, there are certain problems associated with it. It is prakriti, it is nature, and it is vikaraha. It keeps on changing. That is the swarupam of the mind. The physical body also keeps on changing because it is also vikara. It's a modification of the food sheath, the annamaya kosha. So the prana is always moving in this body. The mind is also moving in this body. They are all vikaras, changing. The spiritual study is to understand that I am not any of these three. Neither I am the Annamaya Kosha, I am the Pranamaya Kosha, or the Manomaya Kosha. This is how we remove ignorance about ourselves. So when one comes to the Bhagavad Gita study, he doesn't realize that the mind is a problem. We think that the mind is me itself. This is where the real correction needs to be done. Mind has sorrow in it because it is identified with the gross body. And whenever it has situations in life, it will react. That is the way the mind is designed. And I am someone who is using this body and who is using this mind for a certain purpose in life. That purpose, according to the Vedic tradition, is to know my real nature. At any point of time, if through the study of Bhagavad Gita, I come to realize my nature as Atma, then I can be free from the problems which I face because I take the mind as me. When I take the mind as me, it is an adhyasa. It is a superimposition on the Atma, which is my real nature. Atma is ever pure. It is consciousness, Chaitanya Sarupaha. That is what I have to realize. But to realize this, I need to make my mind sattvic mind. I need to make it pure. So that when my Swarupam of Atma gets reflected in the mind, I can see what is this nature of mind. And that is why importance is given to this chapter 16, 17, and 18. All these three chapters, they dwell on the topic of purifying our mind in order to realize my true nature. We should never forget this. Why I'm studying the Bhagavad Gita? Because I want to know myself. And why do I want to know myself? Because I want to be free from the birth of another body. According to the Shastric view, as long as I consider myself to be the physical body, then I will have rebirth. And if I drop this identification through the study of my real nature, then I do not have another birth. So this is the background in which we should study the 16th chapter and the 17th and 18th. All the three chapters, you must remember, they are the guide for our life. And when I say guide, it only means don't take your mind to be yourself. And this is possible the moment you purify your mind, you will be able to disidentify with the mind and identify with the Atma. We have covered 18 verses so far. Today we'll start with the 19th verse and we'll finish this chapter today. There are 24 verses and the 19th verse onwards we'll take up for our study today. Tanaham dishutah koran samsareshu naradhaman Shipamyajastatra mushuman asurishveva yonishu. Lord Krishna continues the depiction of a Asuri Sampat in this verse. What he says is, the one who has got a Asuri mind, he will hate all the people in the world. He will be an evil person. And he will again be born into an evil womb, in the sense that he will again come back, rebirth will be there for him, and he continues his tendencies, his evil nature, in the next birth also. So one who causes pain to others is causing pain to himself or herself, because he will get a lower birth in the next janma. So, or when we say lower birth, it means jackals, lions, mosquitoes, you name it. Very low, the same living beings with a short life and with a lower quality of life. So as per the nature of the mind, you will get an appropriate body. That is why people pray, they do chanting, so that they can improve the quality of their mind. They can purify the mind. They visit holy places. All this is for purification of the mind. Chanting, everything. You see, even you chant the Bhagavad Gita, it will be a very good blessing. Even if you hear the chanting, you see, every time before the class, we play the recording of the whole chapter. So if you attend 5 minutes or 10 minutes before the class, you will be able to go through the whole chanting. Listening to the Bhagavad Gita itself gives you a lot of punyam. And punyam means merit. Merit means it gives you a better quality of life, body in the future. Many people think that Bhagavan or the Lord is partial in nature. To some people, he gives a good body, good health, and to some people, right from the beginning itself, they have bad health, bad body. So we tend to put a blame on the Lord, but we do not understand the law of karma. The law of karma, it's invisible, adrishta. So whenever we experience something good, bad or good in life, always say, this is the karma phalam which is coming to me. And I will exhaust this karma phalam in this birth. I will have a better quality in the future. That is how we should look at life. The different lokas, the 7 lokas, which are upper lokas, they are all lokas or the fields where we have better body and better enjoyment in life. That is what happens in the higher lokas. In the lower lokas, obviously, you know that we cannot, we have a deteriorated life. All these lokas, when we are born, they are samsara only. Because in the end, everything is a pain. You seem to have pleasure, but it is very, very short-lived. It is not an eternal happiness, which is the nature of Atma. So being born in a higher or a lower loka, a jnani feels is of no use. From his point of view, I do not need any other birth. I want to be free from the rebirth. All this is said so that we can live a good life of divine qualities. Asuryam yonima pannaha Mudha janmani janmani mama prapyaiva kaunteya tatho yantya dhamam gatim. Again, the same idea continues. We go to lower and lower bodies. There is no liberation possible because mind remains the same. Only by Atma Jnanam we will be able to purify the mind. Complete purification happens by Atma Jnanam. At the end of the Atma Jnanam, if it becomes clear, crystal clear, then what happens is I can say that the mind's activities, the mind itself is a unreal phenomena, lower nature. In other bodies, we do not have the method to get out of these negativities because the human intellect is not developed in them. So whenever we have emotions in us, instinctively we are drawn towards them and we own it up as my nature. What the Lord teaches us here is you use all your abilities to get the viveka shakti in the mind. Whenever the emotions rise, be alert, because there is a rising emotion. It can delude me. The Bhagavan gives us Shastra, Guru to be free from this karma. Sometimes one life itself is not enough. Therefore, we are born again and again so that we exhaust our prarabdha and become free. How do we get rid of this asuri sampad? By cultivating daya, compassion, giving charity, self-control. Daya, Danam, Damaha. Three das. If you remember the last talk, these are the 3 das we should remember. See, when I say we should remember, it only means that if it is possible, we try to do whatever the Shastra is telling us. Otherwise, we try to lead a good dharmic life. That's all. As long as we don't get involved with these ignoble qualities, that itself is a good quality. Leading a dharmic, simple life. But there are 3 problems which is very, very difficult to cross. That is what the Lord takes up in the next shloka. He says, Kama, Krodha, Lobha. These are the 3 main problems for all the human beings. He will stress till the end of the chapter, he will talk about these 3 tendencies in us. So in the past few verses, we have seen how we should come out of the asuric tendencies like damba. Damba means pride. Darpa means arrogance, where you talk very roughly. Abhimana, self-conceit. That means you feel you are deluding yourself. I am very great. Krodha means anger, Parushya means harshness, Moha means delusion. So in this verse number 21, the Lord talks about the tamoguna of the mind. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanamaatmanah kama krodastatha lobah tasmadetat trayam tyajet. Lord Krishna gives us a big warning here. He says 3 gateways to hell. That means whenever these 3 tendencies in us rise, be careful, be alert. The first one is kamaha. Kamaha means selfish desire. All desires are not bad. Selfish desires are bad. You want to go and help somebody, that's also a desire. But that is not bad. Here, what we are talking about is our own aggrandizement, our own problems of trying to do things for our own self. And here, self means the ego. For the fulfillment of ego, the ego keeps on throwing desires. Go and do this, go and do that, go and do this. So the problem is by controlling this sense organs, we will be able to control karma. So that is how we should control. When we say control the sense organs, it means try to reduce the use of sense organs in these times when we are caught up in karma. Withdraw. Kurmongani, that verse in the second chapter, like a tortoise withdraws its legs and goes inward. Similarly, when the desires are rising, try to go inward. It is not easy, but we can give it a practice. Abhyasa. Again and again. We will fall down maybe 100 times, but keep trying, and definitely we will win this battle. It is a battle between ourselves and our own mind. Krodha. This is a very serious problem with many of us. For small things, we become irritated, angry. I have dealt in the previous sessions how to control anger. Here, the method to control, they say, is compassion. Have compassion for the other person before you become angry. He is also a human being. He is also, has got a similar tendency in his mind. He may have made a mistake, he or she. Forgive them. The moment we forgive them, what happens is we do not blow up. So daya is the solution for krodha, dhamma is the solution for kama, and dana, charity, is the solution for greed. No doubt I want to earn millions of dollars and increase my bank balance. No doubt we can do that. But what the Lord says is, also give a part of it in charity. Wherever possible, to the extent possible. So why do we do these three things? Why do we try to control these three things? Because by dwelling on these three, our asuri sampat grows like a fire. You keep on putting fuel into the fire, it will grow bigger and bigger. So we need to abandon this or reduce them. They are the gateways to a lower quality of life. In desire, if it is fulfilled, it will cause lobha, greed. You want more and more. I have earned 1 million, I want to earn 2. If I have 2, I want 4. If I want to have 4, I want to have 8. In anything, this is only with reference to money. It can be with reference to, even a simple dish. I want one, I want a second laddu, and a third one. And if the karma is not fulfilled, what happens to us? We become angry. So this is how a karma causes problem in both the ways. So by controlling one karma, we'll be controlling the krodha and the lobha also. And then there are other problems, kama, krodha, lobha, then moha. Moha means delusion. Whenever the mind is in the grip of kama, which means our mind is in the grip of delusion. Why do we say delusion? Because we don't see the reality, which is Atma reflecting in the mind. I am the pure Atma. I am giving this desires to rise. The power and the desires to rise is given by me, the pure consciousness. So by knowledge of the Atma, we can break the connection. This is the easiest way to connect, to drop the connections with the kama, krodha, lobha, and all that. Learn to see the connection. The connection is a vritti, is a thought which rises in the mind. Now, the mind, when this thought rises, we can make it grow bigger and bigger, or we can disconnect. If we have the knowledge that I am the one behind this thought, this happens when you have purified the mind and you will start seeing these things in your own mind. So those of you who have already got some purification because you have been attending all these classes, all these sessions, you have done some other yoga, you have done some other methods in life, you will realize the flimsiness of the subtle mind, and you will be able to correct yourself. Madha means pride. I am very big. I have a lot of knowledge. Nobody has done Gita study like me. I can teach very well. All this is all pride, Madha. Matsarya is jealousy. Oh, the other person is teaching so well. He has got hundreds of students and he is so good. You know, this is all jealousy. Now, these are all the side effects of not knowing I am the pure self. This is how we should understand these three problems. Again and again, reflect on your own nature as the pure Atma, pure Chaitanyam. I am the pure awareness. In me, the pure awareness, the whole world is rising, existing, and dissolving. I am the pure consciousness as I experience in my sleep state. In my sleep state, the body is not causing any problem. The mind is also not causing any problem. I have a state in which I am myself. I am purely existing as pure consciousness. And am I happy or not? Everybody has joy in sleep. It is a reflection of the sattvic mind. The Atma gets reflected in a sattvic mind in sleep. Therefore, that is called as Anandamaya Kosha, the Bhoktrutva. So I am a Bhokta in sleep. I enjoy my sleep. That sleep is nothing but a small vritti, Samanya vritti. It's called Samanya Janya vritti. It's a general sleep. Sleep is a general vritti for all of us. We all have the same joy in sleep. Your joy, you also slept, I also slept. Both of us had the similar joy because that is common. I'm talking about deep sleep state. Your deep sleep state and my deep sleep state is the same, and your consciousness is getting reflected in the deep sleep vritti, like it gets reflected in the Rajasic vritti in the waking state. Not knowing this nature of mind, that I am other than this mind. I am the pure Chaitanya, the pure consciousness. I am independently existing. This is the knowledge I need to have so that I can get rid of these qualities. They become easier to control when I have the knowledge of Atma. That is why Bhagavad Gita in the first 15 chapters, it has kept on stressing the need for Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means Atma Jnana. Okay, so Krodha is the power of where there is no discrimination. There is no viveka shakti in the mind. The mind is very shallow. It's not able to discriminate the right and the wrong. Therefore, you become angry. You put the blame on somebody else and say that because that person did so and so, therefore I became angry. What Krishna says is, you have control in your own mind, and you will be free from this problem of anger. This anger is caused because of delusion in the mind. Clarity will give a better quality of life. So the Shat Ripuhus are this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Ripus means deficiencies in the mind. So this chart again explains the same. If the Kama is fulfilled, it leads to Lobha and Madha and Matsarya. If the Kama is not fulfilled, it will lead to Krodha and Moha. So if I can correct these by knowledge, through the Bhagavad Gita, I learned the problem of the mind. This is the beautiful chart which tells me how to look at my own mind. It gives us a very good mirror. Shastra, Bhagavad Gita is a mirror. In this mirror, I see my mind. I get this chart. What do I do in this? Because I am the knower of this mind, I can correct the mind. I can remove the mind. I have the full flexibility. I can drop the mind whenever I want. That is the jnani. One of the strength of a jnani is at any time he can drop his mind. Anytime. 24 hours he can just say, I am not the Atma, I am the Chit, the pure awareness. Because he has been able to do in his own mind the discrimination between the Chidabhasa, the mind with the reflection, and the original Chit, which is the pure awareness as how we experience it in our sleep state. Pure awareness, no body, no sorrow, only joy. The nature of that Atma is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means existence. It exists. Based on that, only the other three sharirams are coming and going. The Adhishtanam, the substratum for the waking, dream, and sleep states, is this Atma. This is the knowledge, which is the purifying knowledge for this entire set of impurities in the mind. Etai vimukta kaunteya tamodvarai srinir biniraha acharatyatmana shreyaha tato yati param gatin. So here Lord Krishna talks about how a person gets liberated from this darkness by practice of withdrawal, vairagyam, and viveka. And once he is able to control these three, he is then on the way to realizing the supreme goal. And the supreme goal in the Gita is to realize our true nature. So holding on to Kama, Krodha, Lobha, you can make life miserable by getting into more darkness, delusion, and confusions. But by dropping these three, you can go towards the goal of moksha. He's comparing the Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat. So the three problems, they make us lose our intellectual capacity to discriminate. And it leads us to a Rajasic life. Throughout the day, you want to be active. It's not bad to be active. Initially, they say from Tamas, you have to go to Rajas. But from Rajas, we have to grow to Sattvic mind. That's a very, very big jump. Most of us are caught till the end of our life in the Rajasic mode. Bhagavad Gita teaches us from a human life, you try to grow towards a divine life, which is from Rajas to Sattva. Swami Chinmayananda says in his talks on these verses, he says, heaven and hell are states of one's own mind. You make your own life into a heaven, or you make your own life into a hell. By holding on to kama, krodha, lobha, you make your own life, your current life, into a hell. You can watch this in many people's life. Many people, you can watch. You see, we are all living in societies. We see films, we see different lives. And you will find this common thread. Kama, krodha, lobha leads to problems. And dropping this is a very divine life, sattvic life, a contemplative life, where you have time for the Bhagavad Gita study. If you are involved in if your mind is not purified, you will never be able to come and study the Bhagavad Gita. Never be able to. You won't come into this session at all, for sure. This is what the Lord is teaching us. Purify our mind, purify more and more, so that whatever the Lord has taught in the first 15 chapters, they all are realized by us. And what is the process? Again, it's put in this chart form. How to get rid of these three asuric tendencies: damaha, self-control; viveka, discriminate what is good and right, what is right and wrong; shama means you forgive others. Don't punish yourself by becoming angry because somebody else has committed a mistake. You are punishing yourself because you are going to suffer. When you become angry, you suffer the most. The other person has just forgotten about it. He just has his own life. And then what happens when you control these tendency of these three tendencies of kama, krodha, lobha? What happens is our vasanas, they all go away. Ashubha vasanas will be destroyed. And the fifth step is, when the Ashubha vasanas go away, automatically my mind is purified. And then I come to the last step, study Vedanta, get the jnanam, and you have got the final prize of life, which is the knowledge of Atma being your true nature. Normally, an example is given of a ship which is being bashed by the waves. And in those dark nights, suddenly the captain sees a lighthouse, and then he moves towards the lighthouse and becomes totally free from the problems of the storms caused by the in the middle of the ocean. So similarly, kama, krodha, lobha are the three waves bashing us, and the lighthouse is the Bhagavad Gita with the Atma Jnanam. What it is telling us is, in each one of us, there is a light. At the end of the tunnel, in our own intellect, there is a light which is shining all the time. This is the light which Bhagavad Gita, we have talked about, Jyotisham Jyotihi. Always there, always. Anytime, 24 hours, even in the middle of night, you get up, you will know this light. Because of this light only, you are either sleeping or dreaming or waking. In this light of consciousness is the whole activity happening. protect yourself from the world of sense objects by abiding in this light more and more in life. Initially, it may just be a glimpse. I had that light. I know what is this consciousness. Now I know. I have learned the Bhagavad Gita. I can distance myself with the mind. And the seer of the mind is this consciousness. There is no other light, there is no other knowingness, there is no other knowing factor in this whole universe which knows this mind. Nothing else. It is only consciousness which knows the mind. If you know your emotions, it is only this consciousness which knows this mind of these emotions in you. I was very happy. I was sad. Who knows this? It is this consciousness. Don't get attached to the sorrow or happiness. Abide in the self. That is the teaching. The more we abide in the self, we are free from the tyrannies of the mind. The Dhyana Shlokam of Bhagavad Gita, written by Madhusudana Saraswati, Sarvopanishado Gavo Dokta Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Mritam Mahate. So what does he say here? The one with purified intellect, he enjoys the nectar of the Bhagavad Gita. Right in the Dhyana Shlokam itself, Madhusudana Saraswati has told us the essence of the 16th chapter. Get rid of the Asuri Sampad and realize the Atma Tattvam in this body. In the next verse, the Lord says, what happens to you if you don't follow the Shastra? Yashastra vidhi mutssrijya vartate kamakaratah nasa siddhimavapnoti na sukham na parangatim. Two verses are there which will teach us what happens if we don't follow the Shastra. The last two verses of this chapter. See, Shastra Vidhi is a commandment. Like I said, it's a manual of life. It will teach us what are the do's and don'ts in Karma Kanda. And also the Shastra teaches us in the Jnana Kanda, in the end portion of the Vedas, it tells me what is my real nature. That is what is the study of Upanishads. And Bhagavad Gita is an essence of those Upanishads. So the Veda is the ultimate manual of life. And Bhagavad Gita is just a small portion of that Veda only. Like a mobile comes with an instruction manual, like a TV comes with an instruction manual so that you can operate, you can learn to operate. Our life comes with the instruction manual of the Bhagavad Gita. Many of us have not dwelled into this Bhagavad Gita. The more we understand the nature of our mind through the study of the Bhagavad Gita, we have got a very good picture in this chapter. Very good. You can study this chapter again and again. Go towards the Daivi Sampad, drop the Asuri Sampad, go towards. Try to do this again and again, and you will see a lot of benefit comes to us. So how to use this body and mind instrument as an indweller jiva with these instruments? That is the study of this 16th chapter. But if you don't follow the study, there is a problem in life. Now this verse is the seed verse for the next chapter, the 17th chapter. Because there, the Lord is going to talk about what happens if you don't have Shraddha in life. Shraddha in the scriptures. So the next chapter is going to be an analysis of Shraddha, faith in the scriptures. If you don't take recourse to the Shastra in life, then our likes and dislikes will rule us throughout our life. I like this, I will do it. I don't like this, I don't do it. But then we get into a problem. What should not be done, we do it. What should be done, we don't do it. Because my mind is telling me, I don't like this, I like this. So going as life as per our likes and dislikes is a wrong way of living. Going life as per what is right and wrong as per the scriptures is a right way to live and realize our nature. So Chitta Shuddhi, the purity of mind, is possible through the elimination of these asuri tendencies. And if we keep these asuri tendencies, there is no peace of mind, there is no joy in life. If there is no peace and there is no happiness, there is no liberation for the jiva. I, the jiva, who is the indweller in this body, I am in bondage because I am struggling with the asuri tendencies in my mind. And the body is just a house. Through the study of the Bhagavad Gita, I learned to drop the mind's attributes as not related to me, and I get peace in the mind and joy, I realize, is my intrinsic nature itself. The mind demands many things from the jiva through the sense organs. I want this, I want that, I want this. We don't get carried away by them. Develop vairagyam, detachment, and viveka. Viveka and vairagyam are the two sides of the same coin. More viveka we have, the more vairagyam we'll have. More clarity in life. I learn more about this Atma. When I learn more about Atma, what happens is I get more clarity in my day-to-day life also. So the direct boat of life towards the, directing the boat of life towards the lighthouse is the right way. And that is done through by keeping Bhagavad Gita study as the top priority in life. See, we have 1 to 16 priorities in life. 1, 2, 3, 4, we write down. Bhagavad Gita, maybe in the initial stage, it will be in the 15th or 16th category. But as we grow in the study of Bhagavad Gita, you will find that this study becomes more and more important. I become more and more attracted towards the study. Then it occupies the #1 place. That also is not enough. Then everything else gets dropped. I have only one goal: study and become free. This is how our life should be. A time should come when we say that I want to have peace and happiness in life. It is possible by the knowledge of Atma. Again and again, I go and dwell in this Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads. Again, come back to Gita, Upanishads. Again, study. Study other texts which are related to this, like Panchadasi, Vichara Sagara. Study other texts. Vakya Vritti, Laghu Vakya Vritti. All these are all texts dealing with the same Atma. That is what we are studying in our Saturday sessions and Wednesday sessions. Tasma shastram pramanam te karya vyavastitao jnatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartumi harhasi. Therefore, the Lord says, let the scriptures be your authority. Let this Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads lead you to moksha. He brings down the importance of the Shastra in this verse. Why we must study the Bhagavad Gita? Why we must study the Upanishads? Because they are the pramanam. Tasmat Shastram pramanam te. Let the pramanam, the pramanam means source of knowledge. Source of right knowledge about Atma. Because pramanam for Atma is only the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads, because this deals with the spiritual science. The normal science, physics, chemistry, biology, psychology, all of them, they deal with matter, material principle, anatma. They do not have any jurisdiction of coming into the field of Chaitanya, consciousness, existence. These are all fields which are not available for the scientists. They will never be able to come nearer to this field because this is completely closed for the scientists. The scientists depend a lot on the five sense organs. The five sense organs are always looking outward. The data collected from the five sense organs do not help in the study of the Atma. The light of Atma is thrown by the Shastra. Therefore, Lord Krishna says, let Shastra be the guide for you. Let it be the lighthouse in your life. Shastra gives sukham. Sukham means joy in life or peace. Peace of mind. Paramgatam. Paramgatam. That means it will give you the highest goal. There is a deeper purpose of our being born as a human in this life. Many of the people, they keep asking, why was I born? Till the end of their life, they don't know. This is what is called as ignorance of spiritual life. I don't know why I was born. Here, by the study of the Gita, it tells us there is a lighthouse in which this whole life is coming and going. That lighthouse is my real nature. I abide in the Atma, the light of Atma, and I let the whole life come and go. Every day of the life is not a pain for me because I have realized my true nature. I'm now liberated from this body and the mind because of the study of the Gita. I have no more rebirth because here itself I am free. Why should there be another birth? I am free because I know my Atma, my real nature is this pure Atma, pure consciousness. So if there is no birth, you the Jivatma exists as the Paramatma. Paramatma means the supreme soul of the whole universe. In this body, there is a Jiva Atma. In the whole universe, there is a Param Atma. A Jiva Atma realizes he is one with the Param Atma because that Atma is one. That is the knowledge. In that Atma, there is no Jivatvam or Paramatvam. Atma is the light in which the whole three waking, dream, and sleep states are coming and going. Continuously it comes and goes because of this is what we call as the phenomena of this universe. I am what happens is I become Atma, and the whole Anatma, the world, exists temporarily in this light of consciousness and goes away in the sleep. Again it comes, again it goes. I cannot stop this phenomena from happening, but I can be the lighthouse. I can say I am that light of Atma, and everything else is a temporary, transient nature of Jagat. Everything. This is the ultimate vairagyam which you are talking about. Everything. This is the ultimate viveka which happens to a jnani. Very clear. His clarity on Atma is very, very clear. There is not a spot in his clarity of that pure awareness, because he has owned that as his real self. Let Bhagavad Gita be the source of wisdom for living my own life with Daivi Sampat. Any problem in life, we analyze the quality of the mind, the gunas, and we take proper action. Again and again, by remembering that I am the Sakshi, I am the awareness principle, non-interfering principle in the activities of the world. As Chaitanyam, I am only a Sakshi. The mind keeps going on, the body keeps acting, the world comes and goes. When we have questions, what I should do, what I should not do, karyam, akaryam, what I should know, what I should ignore. I should know the Atma, ignore the Anatma. Do good activities, drop the evil activities. Arjuna asked in the 7th verse of the chapter 2, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha prichhami tvam dharma sammoda chetaha. Yachreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyaste ham shadimam tvam prapannam. Very beautiful verse where Arjuna becomes a Sishya. Sishya means he has accepted Lord Krishna as his Guru. And he says, teach me what I should know, because my mind is overcome with pity for others. I am deluded. The knowledge of Atma is what Lord Krishna gave to Arjuna. And through this knowledge, Arjuna could purify his mind and realize his own nature. This world is a karma bhumi and a jnana bhumi. The world we are experiencing today is a karma bhumi. Karma bhumi means we do actions. We have to act in life. There is no choice. Morning to evening, my body, the moment it wakes up, it will automatically do actions. And it is a jnana bhumi. I will also gain knowledge of the world. We cannot stop karma or jnana. But what I have to do is, what type of karma I should do should not be with my likes and dislikes. It should be guided by the Shastra, Dharma and Adharma. In actions, we have a choice. We use our willpower to choose the right. It can happen. I mean, this is a continuous activity throughout our life. And most of us, we live a dharmic life. The only thing we don't have is the knowledge, jnana. Jnana means what I should know about myself. Therefore, listen to the teaching, understand I am the Atma Tattva. Daivi Sampat is the divine qualities that takes you to freedom from the life of living to a life of divine being. Divine being means I am the pure Atma. That is my real nature. I am the Sakshi. I am the pure awareness, Chaitanya. Let that be the lighthouse. Again and again, I use this lighthouse concept because it's very, very apt to this entire study of the Bhagavad Gita. This is a very practical chapter to cultivate the noble virtues. At any time, if I'm confused, I can again dive into this chapter, go through these qualities, go through these teachings, drop them. And as I grow each one, what slowly happens is I am able to see more deeper, more deeper, more deeper. I come to realize my nature. It is not suddenly we will see that Atma light and all that. It will not happen. It is a slow, gradual process. It is a natural process in the world. As I learn the Shastra, as my mind is able to contemplate more and more on the, reflect more on the nature of Atma, the tendencies in me, which takes me astray into the world, that reduces and I become free. I become free, I am peaceful in life. A time you'll come and say, many people, even today, they come and tell me, I have had a tremendous benefit of studying the Gita from chapter 1 to 16. Tremendous benefits. Many listeners of these talks have come and told me, they have written to me, they talk to me, they discuss a few of their problems, they understand these are the problems of the mind, how do I get rid of it, you know? So there is a lot of benefit. Change is possible through this study. This transformation is what is the benefit of the study of the Bhagavad Gita. So the final sadhana is overcome the kama, krodha, lobha by damaha, daya and dana. 3 da. Remember this and be free. So with this, we close this chapter. There are some verses I have selected as the important verses for introspection. Like the first verse, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi. Second verse, third verse. 3 verses, 4, 5. And then I've chosen the 7th verse and the 21st verse. These are important verses which gives us the essence of this chapter. With this, we conclude the 16th chapter. And I have about 5 minutes to take a look at the 17th chapter. What I will do is I'll just introduce the 17th chapter today. And then next week, we'll start with the actual study of the 17th chapter. The 17th chapter is called Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. What is the threefold faith? Sattvic faith, Rajasic faith, Tamasic faith. Sattvic Shraddha, Rajasic Shraddha, and Tamasic Shraddha. So the whole chapter talks to us of how to have Shraddha in the scriptures and lead our life. By doing this, by learning this, what happens is my faith in the scriptures will grow and I will be able to purify the mind. You see, all this, as I told you, 16, 17, 18, all the 3 chapters, they talk about sattva, rajas, tamas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Now, these are the gunas which control the mind. 27 verses, the last chapter had 24. This verse has got 27 verses. The first verse deals with the Arjuna's question. And what is his question? He says, there are a person who worships with faith, but he doesn't have knowledge. This was one of the questions, I don't know, a beautiful question which Shama had asked 2 months ago. I told her this is directly a question asked by Arjuna. She was surprised. So here the question is, a person who is worshipping with faith, but he doesn't have any shastric knowledge. He is not exposed to Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads, but he leads a good life, a dharmic life. Is he sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic? That is the question of Arjuna. Because he is growing. Arjuna wants to grow his mind. This is the doubt he has. And Bhagwan's answer comes in the verse 2nd and 3rd. And Lord Krishna is very diplomatic. He says it depends on his nature. And then he gives us what the faith is based on. He says if he has shastric knowledge, then he will have sattvic faith. And this faith, in the 4th verse, he says this faith is based on the object of worship. If I have sattvic mind, sattvic faith, then I will worship sattvic deities. That is what is said in the 5th and the 6th verse. How and who do we worship? The object of worship and the nature of worship. Then from 7 to 22, the Lord describes that the faith depends on the 3 gunas. We'll study that, you'll come to know more. And here, he takes up analysis of ahara, 3 verses. For each of this, he takes 3 verses. He analyzes food into sattva, rajas, and tamas. Yajna, sacrifice, into sattva, rajas, and tapas. Yajna means worship, tapas means sacrifice. Now, tapas he breaks into whether it is kahikam, vachikam, manisam, 3 instruments. Or is it based on the 3 gunas? That is, he divides the austerity based on either an instrument or based on the gunas. Now, the last one he takes for analysis is dhanam, charity. What is sattvic charity? What is rajasic charity? What is tamasic charity? Then, from verse 23 to 27, he gives us the analysis of Om Tat Sat. Why do we say Om Tat Sat at the end of all the rituals? Because the reason is, whatever mistakes I have made in the chanting of the mantras or by not giving enough dakshina, all that by the utterance of Om Tat Sat, then I am freed from those mistakes. And the last verse, without faith, all scriptural activities become fruitless. So the faith and the scriptural study, faith on the scriptures itself, that these scriptures are coming from God, they are telling me something good for me. God is interested in my benefit to make me grow in life and become free. And that is why he has given this teaching. So with this faith, if I have, and I conduct my life, then this becomes an aid for the purification of the mind. So Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga, the 27 verses are discussing in depth the study of faith in the scriptures and allied topics of if we have good food, what happens, what are the other types, the allied topics like the food, yajna, tapas based on instrument, gunas, dhanam, these are all allied topics. But the main topic is the study of the scriptures should be done with faith. The Tattva Bodha introduces us 4 qualities: viveka, vairagyam, samadha, shatka, sampatti, and mumukshutva. Viveka is discrimination, vairagyam is dispassion. Just to recall, samadha, shatka, sampatti, it is not samadhi, which is a mistake here. There's a mistake that just need to be corrected. Shama, adi, shatka, sampatti. So the inner wealth of Shama Adi. Shraddha is one of the Shatka Sampatti. There are 6 qualities in Shama-adi Shatka Sampatti. Shraddha comes there. So this is how we have to connect that having the Shraddha is one of the qualities which makes me an adhikari for Atma Jnana. Mumukshutvam is that desire for the liberation. In the Shamadha Shatka Sampatti is Samaha, Damaha, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhana. Sama means mastery over the mind. Dhamma is control of the sense organs. Uparama is the doing one's duty in life. Titiksha means enduring the pains in life, heat and cold, pleasure and pain, and so on. These are all the qualities of a student who wants to become free. And Shraddha. In this chapter, Shraddha, the 5th Shamadha Sadka Sampatti, that is what is taken up. The faith in the Guru, faith in the Shastras. Samadhana means single-pointedness of the mind, focusing ability of the mind. These are the 6 qualities a student should develop along with viveka and vairagyam and mumukshutva. So chapter 14, 16, 17, 18 are practical chapters in the Gita for refining the mind, purifying the mind to keep it ready to receive Brahma Vidya and get absorbed in the knowledge of our real nature. We can get a lot of inputs to lead our life from these 4 chapters. They are all the practical aspects. And next week, we will start the 17th chapter by first studying the 16th chapter, which leads to the 17th chapter. These are the verses which we will take up next week before we start the first verse of the 17th chapter. Okay, so we will start with this recapitulating the 16th chapter and then move on to the 17th chapter. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, so Shanmugam is unmuting everybody. Yes, is there any questions from the team?
Shekhar, I like to ask this question.
Yeah.
What you find is the difference between selfishness and greed? Greed and selfish.
Yeah,
What
selfish and greed.
What is the differences?
There is no difference. You see, greed is a part of selfish nature.
Part of selfish nature.
Yeah, greed is a part. You see, greed means I want more and more of objects and relationships.
Right.
You see, greed means I want to, in life, what happens is if I accumulate wealth, if I accumulate things in life, if I accumulate relationships, I want more and more relationships, more, I want to go. That's why I keep on going into the society again and again, you know. I think that by having more and more of being extrovert in life, that is what is called as greed.
Yes.
Now, the greed can be either selfless or selfish. See, if you have greed and greed to help the society, then it becomes a selfless greed.
Right.
You see, I want more and more. Why do I want more and more? Because I want to help the poor people.
Correct.
So there are a lot of people who are very greedy because they want to earn money. But then you ask them, they'll say, no, I'm not taking it. It is not for myself, you know. It is for helping the poor. But then selfish greed is a problem.
That's true.
I want only me to be benefited. Forget about my family also. There are many people who say, I want to grow myself. I will go and enjoy. I won't even give money to my own son or daughter. That is called as pure selfishness.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so this is where we have to be very careful. We have to drop that, you know?
Yeah, selfishness is good.
Yes. So now you're clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, anybody else has any other question?
Yes.
Yeah, Shama, tell me.
Namaste, Shekharji.
Yeah,
thank you so much for doing this wonderful chapter and also kind of nicely bringing it, linking it to the next 17th chapter.
That's very good.
So that is absolutely lovely. Very, very nice. What I also find it interesting is the Naraka Dwara, the door to hell, Kama, Krodha, Lobha.
Yes.
So that is very beautifully clarified. So really, I mean, that's really what you are trying to, in the self-examination, it should be quite nice to do a self-analysis, a depth analysis. And sometimes this karma can be a very deluding one, you know, where you think, no, like just now what you said, you know, I want this, it's not for myself, it's for this, that, whatever. You can do these sweet delusions to yourself.
Yes.
And not realize that. So asking what is my motive, and further, I think that's quite a nice way of probing, you know, I want this, I want that. Why do you want it? You know,
yes, that's correct. Probe your own motives, you know, is very important.
Very interesting one. But the antidote is very nice. You said about Dhamma. So more you can actually do the sense control about, you know, oh, I want to get this or I want to get that. You actually just check that. So the Dhamma.
Yes.
So that is one way. The other one, I just wondered, you know, because we all change in two ways. Either we are moving away from something which is unpleasant or moving towards something. So I was just wondering whether I could add prema, you know.
Yes.
So if the Dhamma, it's almost like karma can be controlled by two ways. One is Dhamma, self-control. The other one is like you have a higher desire, the
Yes.
highest desire, you know, and you really have a love for that. So it's actually letting your imagination or whatever to think, if I was to get the highest, what will it be like? You know, so allow your mind to go there, you know,
Yes.
the highest of knowledge, highest of chitta, you know, the Satchit Ananda, this whole beautiful, wonderful imagination. I think that is something. So I would love to, you know, that's why I don't know, I like this word prema, krodha, daya. And that's very interesting. You linked daya with that because of daya and dhanam. Because I used to think, why is it so much emphasized in our shastras? You know, you must do dhanam and you must be compassionate, because it actually controls this tendency.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the antidotes, because I always can think about illnesses and what is the antidote. You know, my
That's correct.
mind,
Yeah.
I can't move away from there. What
You're
is
a
my
doctor. You're a doctor. So you
yeah,
that's your life.
so I like to think, okay, these are my symptoms. How can I get rid of it? So not only symptoms. So this kama, krodha, lobha are the actual symptoms manifested, and what is the antidote? But going to the cause is obviously ajnanam. I
Yes.
will
Ignorance.
not have any of kama, krodha, lobha if I am seeing the light. Light, this is not the truth, isn't it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
once I have the total light, there is no problem. The question which I have, in other words, what I was thinking, the swadhyaya, and this is the question. Swadhyaya, which means study of the scriptures. Can we also interpret this as study of one's own self? You know, so almost a daily kind of a practice where you actually examine the whole day. I did this, I did this, I did that. Why did I do it? You know, what was my motive? So all of that kind of self-study in the light of the scriptures.
Yeah.
And that might help to sort of every day making a little bit more progress.
Yes, you must do swadhyaya. That is a very important thing which you have brought about, is a self-study. You see, you attending these type of sessions is good.
Yeah.
But it should be accompanied with some small self-study of, even if you were to just read 3 verses of the Bhagavad Gita in the morning every day.
Yeah.
You know, just read 3 verses, just read the meaning, reflect on those verses. It will help you a lot, because the self-study will tell you that I am making this this study as one of the priorities in my life.
Yeah.
You see, unless until you do that, then only, like I said, if you have 16 desires in the list of desires, if study of scriptures is 16th or 15th or 14th, slowly you have to make that study a little bit more up and up. It should come, you know, 6th, 7th, and then it should become number 1.
Correct.
And not only become number 1, the other 16 should go away.
Correct.
So this way, what happens is, then you are ready for the final jnanam of Atma.
Correct.
You see, when a person is ready, mentally ready, then what happens is, he has emptied his mind of all other rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
You see, he said, okay, I'm going to leave my mind empty and just listen to the Shastra. And when in an empty mind, you get the knowledge of the Shastra, Tattvamasi,
Right.
then what happens is that knowledge goes straight
Enough,
to the Atma.
Enough. Too much already.
Okay.
Well, the interesting thing also is in this self-examination and the 16th chapter, because I was thinking, why does Krishna go on and on? You know, you've described the Devi Sampati. Then why are you going on describing all the Asuri? And I realize it is so important. Know thy enemy. If you have to win a battle, you must know your enemies. So unless I know my Asuri one, so I am going to, after this end of this chapter, I'm going to examine not how good I am, but how many bad things have I got? Because unless you look at it, you may not see it. Yeah, so that is what I'm just trying to recap as to the goodness which I have gained for myself, and just really sharing it with my other participants. I want to ask whether, in this process of chitta shuddhi, which is karma kanda and dharma kanda, we are continuously doing this chitta shuddhi through that. Is there, so this is just one thing apart, and this really will be my last two questions. One is, because we all have this very nice ability to see the good, how good I am is very easy to see.
Yes.
It's kind of creates such a sweet delusion. I'm a good person. I like to help people. I care for people. I love people. Not realizing that even when I'm saying I love people, what I actually, the Yajnavalkya's thing.
Yes.
A husband doesn't love his wife for the wife's sake, but for his own sake, or
Correct.
the wife does not love the husband. In other words, even if I say I love someone, actually I like the joy and happiness which that brings to me by loving the other.
Yes.
So it's a delusion, isn't it?
It is delusion.
Delusion.
Yeah, but if you understand Yajnavalkya correctly, then you can drop the delusion.
That's what I wanted to ask you. How to drop this?
How do you drop the delusion is, you say that the object, either the person in front of me or the object, is only trying to reflect my own happiness. You see, that person is an instrument for me to know that I am the self.
Yeah.
You see, that's what Yajnavalkya says, that you are there in front of me, Maitreyi. My love to you is a fake love, but that love is because of my own love to myself. See, Atma is the only source of love. That is what this is a very big analysis. What constitutes love? There's a very big analysis on this topic itself.
Sorry.
So on this topic, this topic is a very big topic. Where does happiness lie? Why do we love people, and is it for their sake or is it for my own sake? It's a very big topic for discussion. And the analysis of Vedanta is very clear that everything in the life which is loved is not a real love. It is loved because it helps me to reflect my own happiness in that. Yeah, what was your second question?
The second one was, you have actually answered it, but I just want a confirmation. Is there one very smart and clever way of completely uprooting your karma, the desire? Just one blow, you just burn it. You just take an axe and cut it out at one blow. Is there anything like that in our shastras? Have they?
The only axe I can think about to cut is only the Atma Vidya. It is just there is no other knowledge or the axe which will cut the karma completely.
And that's a very slow process, you said?
It could be a slow process for beginners, but for advanced students, it can be very fast. Okay. Because the Mahavakya Vichara helps you in that cutting that root immediately.
Okay.
So the moment you walk and you understand the Mahavakyas, that is why in the, I'm going to take the Laghu Vritti for the Wednesday class,
Okay.
which is a direct acts. You just take that, you know Atma, pure consciousness as your nature, and it's a full stop. There is nothing else.
Yeah.
So the Mahavakya Vichara is the answer to your question.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else has a question?
Okay, thank you. It's well said.
Yeah, Malati?
Today, Malti don't have any question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, if there are no questions, we'll close for the day and then see you next week. We'll start the 17th chapter. And good night, everybody. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Shekharji. Good night.
Thank you, Uma. Thank you.